Hello and welcome back to the Puncher's Chance podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be previewing next weekend's fights. That's Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach in the States, as well as Paddy Donovan, Lewis Crocker in Belfast, which, to be honest, is a belter of a card. But we'll get onto that in a moment. First of all, we'll talk about Tank Davis, because I suppose he's a worldwide superstar. If you haven't already, subscribe, follow us, all that good stuff. Straight into the action. Is it a good fight for Tank Davis? Are we looking forward to it against a super featherweight world champion up at lightweight? Or are there better fights out there for Tank Davis?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I think the fight, like we discussed in the last podcast, is you want him and Shakur Stevenson to go. It feels like ages since we've seen Tank Davis fight.
Yeah, it was Frank Martin last time, was it?
June 15th, 2024.
Which was a good fight, to be fair, because I think style-wise it made a lot of sense. Frank Martin's a very skillful fighter, but there was inevitability feel to the finish from Tank. And yeah, I don't know how to make of this one, because I do really like Lamont Roach. I think he's a good fighter. He's obviously a WBA world champion, so he's no slouch, but Tank Davis, you should be fighting the best in your division, not one of the best in the division below you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But he's on a great run as well. Romero, 6th round stoppage. Garcia, 9th round. Ryan Garcia, 7th round stoppage, which, you know, a lot of people had question marks in that fight about Davis, and obviously put that to bed. Then a great performance against Frank Martin. This sort of fight, when I came in this morning on the train, I didn't realise he was fighting this weekend. It just went completely under the radar, and I'm excited to see him back in action, because it does feel like a long time since he was in the ring. And yeah, hopefully now he can get the win, kick on, and like we discussed in the last podcast, there's some big fights that he can have now, especially against a certain American in Shakur Stevenson, which is an unbelievable fight.
He's one of the very few fighters as well that hasn't been pulled in by the Saudi influence.
Yet.
I don't think he will, though.
I think there's still time. I think we will see Gervonta Davis fight in Saudi Arabia this year.
Yeah, I think we could. And I think the thing with Tank Davis is he has that kind of Canelo pull, in the sense of really it doesn't matter who he fights, because people just want to see him fight. And that's a really special thing to have in boxing. It's a really strong thing that you can have fights like this that aren't necessarily the best fights for you at the time, but actually people are still excited to see them. And there's so many great fights at that weight division, the likes of Lomachenko, William Zepeda. There's a lot of great fighters at lightweight that he could be fighting, but nonetheless we're still excited. I mean, Keyshawn Davis, of course, like we mentioned,
he's never going to touch Keyshawn Davis, though, is he, after that performance?
Cordina.
Well, yeah, we literally all of these names.
Cordina in the Utilitaire in the Principality. Yeah, we'll have that.
Let's get Gervonta Davis to Cardiff.
Yeah, there's so many great fights to be made, and I think we will see that Shakur Stevenson fight. I think if we're ever going to see it, it'll be now, or not now, as in they're not fighting as we speak, but soon, within the next year.
Yeah, down the line. Yeah, definitely. 100%.
We're getting a bit greedy as fight fans, and we see so many big fights.
All these years,
let's get to these.
All these years that we've had dreams of these two fighting one another. Now they're actually doing it. I do agree. We are like, oh well, they're surely going to be fighting each other. We have got a little bit greedy, but I just think we deserve it. You know, we've had so many years where the fight. I'm not fighting him because of the money. Now that's all out the window. Happy days. You know, I'm not complaining.
I also just think, there's a lot of talk of legacy. That's like a big thing in boxing. I want my legacy. In my mind, if you want to have a strong legacy, you need to beat the best. And he's beaten some of the best, Tank Davis, but there is another one in the division that's very, very good, and people are split as to whether or not they think, you know, I think generally speaking, the kind of idea, and you talk about those American superstars, is Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, in terms of, that's how they rank them in terms of ability. And so if you want to be outright the best, beat Shakur Stevenson, knock him out.
I think in terms of a boxer's legacy as well, it's not even just beating the best, but sometimes it's just getting in there with the best and giving the fights that people really want to see. There's plenty, like you see so many regarded as some of the best boxers ever that have been beaten, but they were involved in those massive fights, and it's that legacy that they leave behind is what people remember. So yeah, it would be, I'd be very much looking forward to a Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson fight week if they can get it going for possibly the end of this year.
Yeah, we did have some sort of taster, didn't we, with Shakur Stevenson and Floyd Schofield of like the sort of theme of fight week. So yeah, that would be incredible. That build up to that fight would be unbelievable. Another fight on the card. I can't believe that Jose Valenzuela's fighting. You know, after that, some people said a massive upset on that Riyadh season card in LA. He's fighting Gary Russell, 17-1. He's actually defending his world championship. So it's great to see him back in action. And another one that seemed to go under the radar for a while, it seems, is Sandor Martin. He seems like another fighter that people don't want to be touching. And it's great to see him firstly fighting again. And he's in a decent fight against Alberto Puello, who is 23-0. And he's obviously, it's for the WBC World Super Lightweight title. So it's another great fight. And hopefully Sandor Martin can pick up momentum now and push on this year and get the fights that he, for me, rightly deserves, because he is definitely one of the best in that division.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not one I'm going to be staying up until the early hours of the morning
beforehand. How the hell do we even watch it?
And I'm not paying the Amazon pay-per-view prices to watch it either, but I think it will be a fight or certainly a card that I'm looking forward to catching up on a couple of these fights on Sunday.
$80 in
something like that, yeah.
Why do they have it so expensive in America, pay-per-views? That's
always
something that
I've been... to pay $80 for a pay-per-view. I'd never watch any of them.
No.
That's like four Riyadh season cards for us.
Yeah, you could watch...
Why are they so...
You could have watched the last 4 Riyadh season cards for that price.
That's mad.
I wonder why they're so expensive, though. Do you know?
I think that's just...
Someone let us know down in the comments.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a reason for it. I'm sure there's it's just the going rate, I think, over there. They just pay it. It's like...
How can they just go, oh yeah, well, look at the UFC. UFC have a pay-per-view every month that's $80.
Yeah. Not for me. But
thank God I live
exciting
in the UK.
And that Jose Valenzuela fight, I was one of the ones that wrote him off in that first fight, and he's such a skillful fighter.
I think we all did. Against
Harry was the only one who backed him against Pitbull.
I was actually, for some reason, I just went, he's taller than him. So that was my only thinking behind it. I compared it to a little bit like you two, didn't I? I said that it's Sam fighting you.
Yeah.
And that's what I meant with the reach and all. And
well, who reckons Sam would beat me in a fight?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
In a boxing fight, not in a street fight.
We're going to have to call this podcast
25 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Twice on Sunday.
Yeah, but you're forgetting the weight difference. It's super heavyweight against
against a straw weight, minimum weight. I'll be fighting that Thai guy in a few weeks.
Lamont
Roach.
You like you say, but I'm a sucker for a skillful fighter. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people really love a powerful fighter, or
that's me. Me and you were completely different.
Are you more of a but so you've got Reef. One of the guys in also a housemate, he likes a pressure fighter. I've put him on to William Zepeda. That's his that kind of fighter, front foot, always like Mexican style.
He's fighting soon as well, ain't he?
A lot of people like the kind of one-shot knockouts, the Moses Atomas, the Tank Davises. I'm a sucker for a Valenzuela or a Bivol, something like that. Just a real masterclass. I don't know why.
Boxer nerd then. Yeah. That loves the science of it.
The sweet science, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you guys have seen the quality of the spar in the living room the other day. The sweet science. No, Valenzuela, he's always a fighter I'm looking forward to. Now, after that one, I'm not going to pretend I was a huge Valenzuela fan for years, but after that one, a tricky southpaw, I think he'll get the job done again. Yeah. And then, that's another fight that you can see against someone like Lomachenko if you want a kind of real skill off, or even another option. He's super lightweight, isn't he? Mm-hmm. An option for someone. It's a great division. We've spoken about that division a couple of times. It's a great division. And a lot of good things to come of it. But more importantly, one of the best UK domestic shows I think we're going to see now in Belfast. The atmosphere over there. The main event with an Irishman versus a Northern Irishman. All of that great stuff. It's going to be an unbelievable night.
I was going to say, I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to say what I usually say.
Guaranteed knockout.
Not even just that, but I always say, this is the one to watch this weekend. I don't want it, but I can't see how this fight would be boring.
No.
So these two are going to go, they're going to trade with each other. That main event is going to be...
And there's no way, even if it's an early finish, it won't be boring because the atmosphere in there when that knockout happens, or if that knockout happens at the SSE Arena, which is a great venue in Belfast, and it's such a fighting city.
They just get it, don't they? They don't.
You can't fabricate that kind of atmosphere anywhere else in the world. You couldn't. There's no way. You can't. you couldn't bottle up the York Hall and move it elsewhere. There's no way. It just has its own thing, and this is the same. And with the story behind it and two fighters, the styles, welterweight's a great division.
Somebody's always got to go as well.
The fact that they are both coming off stoppage wins against Lewis Ritson and Conor Walker as well shows the type of fighters that they are. I think it's going to be such a good fight to watch, and it's a really good card as well. Some really good fighters on it.
I've just remembered that we're going to have to do our predictions for this one, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Who won last weekend? Can I just...
the predictions? I don't remember.
I can't remember either. Humbled in victory I am. Have it, boys. That's my first win in like months, it feels like.
Someone who cheated after changing. Changed.
What did they say? I've got receipts of Sam saying, I asked the question, can I change my predictions? Because Shakur Stevenson's got a new opponent and Cody's coming in. And Sam went, yes.
I'll delete my message now. There's no, but this can be really difficult to do. And that fight as well, Craig Richards, Padraig McCrory on the undercard is a.
But that was meant to be in Riyadh on Saturday night,
apparently, But McCrory comes off the loss not off the loss. He's had a fight between, but with Edgar Berlanga. Craig Richards obviously lost in the 5v5.
Willie Hutchinson,
against Willie Hutchinson.
Boxing masterclass, he got handed that day, didn't he?
A little bit, yeah. So it's going to be an interesting test, this. But Craig Richards has gone. His last 5-6 fights have been win loss, win loss, win loss. So
he's gone
in
loss.
Theory,
Bivol,
he's on to a win next. So will he win it? I don't know. But it's
money on it.
It's what I like is, while we're getting these huge mega fights elsewhere in the world and in Riyadh on the Ring Magazine cards, it's fights like this that get you excited. They're not necessarily unbeaten fighter versus unbeaten fighter, but they are 50-50s, aren't they, on paper? That'll be a really good fight to watch, I think.
Yeah, it's similar with a lot of the fights on the card as well. You've got the Tommy McCarthy, Stephen Ward fight. Two fighters have had a couple of losses, but that's very much a up in the air fight between the two of them. Leon Woodstock who Reese Edwards was meant to fight obviously against Curtis Walker, now stepped in, so he's got an undefeated record that he'll be looking to keep intact. Aaron Bowen, he had to show a lot of grit, to be fair, against
James Todd.
Fair play. James Todd is one of my favourite fighters.
That was probably the fight of the night on that card.
Unbelievable.
Back was that a couple of months ago now?
I think it's a little bit longer. I can't remember now.
I think he was on the undercard of Sonny Edwards Galal Yafai, if I remember rightly.
Something like that.
So
great card. And I think with
Shauna
that Tommy
Brown as well looks very impressive every time you watch her. Sort of like a new version of Katie Taylor coming through in a way.
Just that like scrapper, isn't she? I mean, and I think that takes away from her technical ability as well, because she's by no means
but she went as an away fighter in her last fight over in Australia against another undefeated fighter. I forget her name now, but to go over there, and she looked very good, and it was a close fight and a split decision win against Taylor Genson, but to go over there and keep your
I don't think it was a split decision either. I think that was harsh on her. I thought she won it quite comfortably.
I thought she won by a few rounds when I watched it, but
it's. I think it carries on what's been quite a strong start to the year from Matchroom with the. Oh wait, watching some dodgy ads there.
Sorry, no. Sabril Matias is fighting this weekend as well.
He is, yeah. There's some good fights, and
there's a card on DAZN as well. Is it DAZN?
Yep, Hernandez against
in Bournemouth. Ryan Garner one.
No, it's. Oh no, it's not on DAZN yet. I don't think
it's on TNT.
It's on TNT still.
TNT is it?
The
I completely forgot about that card.
Oh my god, what a weekend! Let me just
hang on. We've just gone from having probably one of the best boxing cards of our lives to now another
super busy.
Boxing's
weekend.
So good at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the kind of thing that
dreams are made of.
Yeah, absolutely. But you wish for a weekend off, but then when you have a weekend off, you don't want it. Yeah. Like you spend the whole time going, oh, can we just have one weekend where I can just relax? And you go there and you're sat at home and you're like, I wish there was some boxing to watch because it's all been so good. Yeah, that card in Bournemouth, you've got Ryan Garner versus Salvador Jimenez for the EBU European and the WBC International. You've got Louis Edmondson defending his Commonwealth against Tosin Gajawa, friend of ours, friend of the channel.
Come on, Tosin.
My Nigerian
Tough
brother.
Fight for Louis there.
You got Joe Joyce coming back as well against Patrick Corte.
I didn't even realise Joe Joyce was fighting.
Is he still fighting? Because surely...
What, Joe Joyce?
Yeah, but...
Yeah, and then he's fighting on the all heavyweight card as well in April by all accounts.
There's people questioning whether Joe Joyce should be fighting still. There's no way he's fighting Saturday night. Surely not.
Well, you'll see. Henry Turner's making a
Liam
comeback.
Dillon's on there as well.
It's just such a good card as well. Another great card, domestic.
See, I went this weekend. I thought I had to catch up on the early fights from that Bivol and Better BF card. This weekend is going to be again manic, where you spend all day Sunday. You sat down on your settee watching.
Have enough time. Well, I was going to say even a car. We'll be going to a card in Cardiff that's not even on TV with both the Croft twins on it. So it's a hectic,
unbelievable.
Saturday. Well, hectic.
You literally have to have a full-time job to watch boxing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which we're trying to do.
And you still got time to spend half an hour of your week or an hour of your week listening to the best podcast. So thank you all who are still tuning in, all that good stuff. Luke McCormack as well, fighting on this card, is a fighter I'm really looking forward to. I had him as one of my top 5 prospects of the year, which I wrote a few weeks back. Obviously his brother Pat McCormack has kicked on and done some really great things and had a good performance very recently, but Luke's the one that's had a few injury problems. It's taken him a while to get pro after the Olympics, and I think is one that's going to be really, really impressive. I watched him at the York Hall on the Sam Noakes Cheglia undercard, and he was very impressive on that night. Really powerful. Got a second round knockout, and I think he's one that if you haven't already, keep an eye on him. That's my call. I think he's going to have a big year. Not that that's a particularly kind of crazy shout to make. He's an Olympian. He's a very talented fighter. He's got a impressive team behind him, but that's my call for one of the prospects of the year.
It's just another great weekend of boxing, owner.
Absolutely.
From Friday all the way into the early hours of Sunday morning, there's action everywhere you look, and it's great.
What's the fight of the weekend for you? One fight, if you had to pick it out.
Crocker Donovan. I think that you can't argue.
That was a shit question because we all agree.
I'll be different. Craig Richards, Padre McCrory could be something special as well.
It could be a good fight, but I do think that main event holds too much. The fight I'm looking forward to most is obviously Tosin fighting for the Commonwealth against Louis Edmonson, and it's a shame because I really quite like Louis Edmonson. I spoke to him a couple of times in that Cardiff week. He's a funny guy. He seems nice. But
TGI Friday's funny.
Really hope he loses. Yeah, he went on a weird tangent about tingly bollocks and stuff in an interview.
They compared it. Yeah,
I was slightly confused about that one, but each their own.
Yeah.
Each their own. Hopefully he doesn't have any going into this fight because that will probably get in the way, I imagine. But Tosin, I think I spoke to Tony the other week and he said he's really fit. He's looking to ruffle a few feathers, so it should be a good one. A 12-rounder as well because it's the Commonwealth title.
That's his first 12-rounder.
Yeah, it will be.
I think he's gone 10 rounds before.
10, I would imagine the African title will be for the 10-rounder. Yes, which was an absolute war, and he broke his hand, and he, all sorts. I think he got dropped in that fight as well.
And that hand problem has been a little bit of an issue over recent times. Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't play a factor on Saturday.
I think it should be fine. The real question is, though, where are we doing the predictions, or which card are we doing the predictions for?
Matchroom card.
You think the Matchroom Crocker Donovan card? Let's get straight into that one. And then...
all right, but we're on boxing news now. Someone works for them now. Congratulations, Sam. Look at that. It took us how long? 19 minutes to bring that up. So
I didn't even think about that.
No.
Because we've been using the Boxing News app for our predictions for a long while now.
Yeah, you can put a word in though to try and get a sponsorship.
Yeah.
We've been working hard promoting your app, okay? Lots of people.
That's how we got the job, see?
A hell of a lot of people stay watching at this point of the video. Almost everyone, I'm sure of it. Let's have a look on the Boxing News app. Crocker versus Donovan. It's all on here. It's not all on here, but a lot of it's on here. Tommy McCarthy, Stephen Ward, Cruiserweight 10-rounder. What is your prediction, Mr. Tovey, reigning champion?
Hang on, repeat that, sorry. I was... Tommy McCarthy, knockout, sorry.
Okay.
So I was zoned out then. I was thinking of all the fights then.
What about you, Ben? What are you going for?
I've gone Tommy McCarthy by points.
Ooh, I've gone Tommy McCarthy stoppage. I think he's going to get the stoppage on that one. Next up, Kurt Walker, Leon Woodstock, featherweight 10-rounder. Mr. Thomas, what are you going for?
Kurt Walker points.
Kurt Walker points.
Same.
We are so exciting. I can see why you guys stick around to the end to listen to this part of the podcast, because boy is it thrilling. Craig Richards, Padre McCrory, a light heavyweight 10-rounder. This one's a bit of a harder one to call because I think McCrory's got maybe a little bit more. But they both, to be honest, I was going to say he might have a little bit more kind of form, but actually they're both, you'd argue, off form. Richards, power doesn't seem to be quite there as much.
He needs this win, Craig Richards, and I don't think he gets it. I think Paddy McCrory wins on points.
I've gone for a Richards points decision.
I've gone McCrory points decision.
Ooh,
well,
we got to win it
this week.
Yeah.
And then Paddy Donovan, Lewis Crocker, welterweight 12-rounder. Horrible fight to predict on this one. Actually, their odds to win is identical on this unnamed betting site because they've banned my account still.
You still use them though.
I can't use them.
Did you all have that £5 free bet as well?
I did,
from
yeah.
That?
Yeah, and we all put it on a big acca and none of us won any money.
Mine was fucked after the first one.
Ben, you're going to go first in this one because Harry laid down his chips on the last one. Who do you think is going to win and why? Or how? When?
This is so hard to call.
Yeah. They've also got the exact same odds to win by KO and decision. Donovan's odds to win by KO is 4-1. Crocker's by decision's 4-1. Donovan's by decision 15-8. Crocker by KO 15-8. It's
Cheltenham
such a
Festival's
50-50.
coming up soon, so you can get a good job there with the
just reading out odds.
Yeah.
Come on, bud. I'm filling in a lot of time here.
I'm gonna go Crocker decision.
Crocker decision. I'm gonna go for a Crocker stoppage. I think he's gonna hurt him to the body. That's my call. Don't know why I have that, but I think he will. What about you, Harry?
Crocker points. I'm going to go now. Yeah.
So there's definitely going to be a winner this week. There's definitely going to be a winner. It's going to be difficult.
I've got points for every fight.
Have you? Oh, there's bound to be a stoppage. There's bound to be a stoppage, surely.
Nah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be a really great night. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm just trying to think what else have we got coming up soon. We've got the all-female boxer card on March the 7th.
Well, March is busy.
But in 2 days' time, we're in the Vale Sports Arena, aren't we? So content's coming from there.
Correct, yeah.
Joshua John's final
both the Croft
final
wins for the Welsh fans that are listening. They'll be fighting on that one. And then obviously, going into April is a big month. Every month's a big month in boxing at the moment. I'm just having a look. What are the big fights coming up that we've got?
Conor Ben against Eubank Jr.
Yeah, that is the big one. But even that's got there's some stuff, big stuff before there. You got
Dillian White, Joe Joyce.
You got Nick Bull fighting in Liverpool, defending against TJ Doheny.
That's coming up soon, ain't it?
Midway through March. You've got Ammo Williams is fighting again. You've got Williams Apeda's defending his WBC interim versus Tevin Farmer on the rematch. End of March. You've got the all heavyweight Queensberry card at the start of April. We talk about Eubank Jr., Conor Ben, but actually there's so much good stuff to go between then. And then, if that's not enough, you've got Canelo Alvarez fighting in Saudi Arabia in May. So, hey, what's not to love?
Boxing's in a good place, isn't it?
Yeah. Is there anything else important happening on that day? I don't think there is. I don't think there's anything important happening on May 3rd. Off the top of my head.
Someone said something, but I can't remember what.
Yeah, I sort of wasn't listening.
Someone's 60th.
Interestingly, if you don't know, it's Ben's birthday. Interestingly, Canelo's the only fighter on that card at the moment versus William Skull. So
apparently, Hami Munguia and Bruno Suras is meant to be fighting. The rematch is on there.
But there's none of us been confirmed yet. They tend to get them booked in quite early.
They'll do a press tour.
Let's just have Canelo on there.
This week we would have already seen the press tour with Eubank Jr. and Conor Ben because that's happening tomorrow. Sorry, and tomorrow's been Tuesday for us.
Tomorrow when this is being filmed, not tomorrow when this is coming out.
Yes,
very confusing. You guys will have already seen that.
Sorry.
Just to stop any more confusion, I think we'll just about wrap it up there. Thank you all for listening. As always, follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff because next week some more great content. We're going to be reviewing the cards this weekend. We're going to be previewing the fights next weekend, hopefully some fight content maybe possibly for that card as well. Thank you all for tuning in and we'll catch you all next week.
Punches chance. Punches chance podcast.